Howdy, everybody. I hope everybody is having a great Friday afternoon or early evening, depending on where you are. How do you know when you need an expert? And so I'm sitting in the front of my boat, but if you can see behind me, I have quite a few water skis. And so I wanted to bring an illustration to you in that why do I have, and there's some in the boat too, there's some in the floor and there's some in the sides. Um, why do I have quite frankly, over 60 water skis? You might say you have a bit of a problem, dude. And yeah, I do things to an extreme, I guess. But the reason I have 60 water skis and not just four or six or seven is they're all meant for something different, um, or for a different body style, different body type. Some are for kids, some are for adults, some are for doing tricks, some are for extreme tricks. Um, so it's how do you know when you need an expert? Well, an expert is somebody who's going to be able to tell you these are the skis you need for this, these are the skis you need for that. And I've been skiing for a long time of my life, and I've learned a lot about water skiing from my grandfather, from my mom, from my uncle. They were in water ski shows. My aunt um, with Cypress Gardens. My grandfather was a boat driver. So all that wraps into I need 60 skis because when I take somebody out for the first time, whether they're a child, whether they're an adult, I need to know that I have the skis on board that are going to get them out of the water. Because there's a lot of times I talk to people and they say, well, I'll come with you, but I've tried to ski before and I never got up. In my first, there's two things I ask. One is, did you have a boat driver that knew what they were doing? Because you do have to know what you're doing to get somebody out of the water on skis. And two, were you on the right skis? I have some skis up there that someone who is over 300 pounds could get out of the water on. And you might go, wow, that's a lot. That's a lot. I have some skis up there that somebody who's 300 pounds is not even going to come close to getting out of the water. And you have to know what to put on the right person. So, knowing when you need an expert is knowing that you've hit a barrier, whatever that barrier is, whether it's water skiing and you can't get up, whether it's um, your health, whether it's your finances, whether it's your business, whether it's being an employee and you don't know how to be a better employee. Whatever it is, we're all going to hit barriers in life. That's what life is. Life is full of barriers and obstacles. If you don't know they're coming, they're going to come. I guarantee you've had some. Maybe you've tried to sidestep them. But if you get to a barrier and you don't know how to go over it, you try a couple times and you just can't get past it, you can't get through it, whatever the case may be, then find an expert. That expert could be somebody who is a coach, that could be somebody who is, a financial advisor if it's finances, or it could be somebody who's been through it themselves. Maybe they're not a professional in what that area is, but they've been through it and they know how, at least some ways and tricks and hacks and whatever you want to call them, to get past the barrier that you're up against. That's what life's about. It's about barriers, and then it's about finding the community, finding the relationships that are going to help you get past those barriers. So, who's in your life that's going to get you past barriers? The only way you're going to find that out, you have to be honest that you're having a problem. And that, my friend, is why the majority of Americans are stuck with one thing or another. And I could go down my street, and if everybody was honest, I could knock on the door and say, what are you stuck with right now? And I would get probably a bunch of different answers if everybody was honest. Now, what will probably happen if I go down the street and say, hey, are you stuck with something I could help you with? Almost every person would say, no, I'm good. Everything's good. Because they don't want to be vulnerable. They don't want to admit that they're stuck on something. And that is the biggest problem. So if we can stop hiding what's wrong, if we can stop trying to fake it, that we know how to handle it ourselves, and just say, I don't know how to get up on water skis. I need an expert to help me. Because the expert's going to come along, and guess what? You're going to get through that barrier. You're going to get up on water skis, and then let me tell you, if you've never water skied before, it's a feeling that's amazing. It's a feeling like no other feeling. You're out there, you're just cruising along on top of the water. There's nothing like it. And if you're stuck in the water because you can't figure out how to get out, or the person that you've picked as your boat driver can't figure out how to get you out, or the tools that you've got, the skis are not the right skis and you can't get out, those are all barriers. Ask somebody else. And if you ask somebody, if you figure out whatever your barrier is, it's finances, it's health, it's your job, it's whatever it is, figure out what your barrier is. Addiction, we all have them. We all have them. Some people's barriers are just simply, there's so many things going on, they get stuck not knowing what step to take next, and so they don't do anything. Don't be the person that doesn't ask for help, because that person gets stuck for a long time and then starts complaining that there's nothing happening good in the world, there's nothing for them, and there's nothing. Don't be that person that gets stuck. Ask for help. Somebody out there in your circle can help you. They may not want to, so you may have to go find somebody else. It's not their fault. It may just not be time for them, but there's somebody in your circle that can help you with something that you're stuck on right now. So go find the expert that can help you. Because once you do that, life is going to be a lot easier for you, because you're going to be past that barrier. You're going to get the next barrier, but you know what? Once you get the next one, it's going to be a lot easier for you to go ask help. And then you get to the next barrier, it's going to be easier for you to ask help, because you've been asking for help, and you've been asking for help, and you've learned that there are people that are experts out there for a reason. You're an expert in something, and you've got the opportunity to help somebody. When you see them struggling, you're an expert and you have the opportunity to help somebody, and it's your choice. You can pay it forward and see the ripple effect, or you can not, and you can hold it in and watch people struggle around you. I choose to be an expert and pay it forward. So if you're out there and you need help with your health, that's definitely an area I can help. If you're out there and you need help with fitness, that's definitely if you've tried to water ski and you can't get up, drop me a line, because I can teach you how to get up. I can write it out in such a simple way, because I've done this before, because my sister was trying to teach somebody how to ski, and she knew how to drive a boat, but she never pulled a skier before. This is several years ago, and she was like, what do I do? And I wrote it out for her, and the next time they went out, boom, the kid got right up and skied. And so there's other things that I'm maybe not as qualified as an expert, but I can definitely help you talk through things. But if it's something else that I can't help with, there's experts out there. Don't get stuck simply because you don't want to ask. It takes being vulnerable, but don't get stuck simply because you don't want to ask. Go find the expert that can help you and make your life easier. Starting today, starting next week, and watch how much easier things get. So that's the life lesson for today. Go find the expert. Go find the coach. I know sometimes it costs money, but a lot of times coaches out there like myself will give you more free advice that you can work with, because we'll understand that you're in a situation where maybe you can't afford it. So don't be afraid to ask. Share your vulnerabilities. Share your issues. Ask. Get the expert help. And move past the barrier. That's what it's all about. So we'll talk to you all again soon.